Hey guys, Colin Elam again, aka the Musket Man, and I am back for another range video on the Musket Man 98 channel. Now, if you've been following me the last couple of weeks and months, we've been doing a lot of experiments with the smoothbore flintlock musket, and in particular, the Brown Bess, which is also what we're going to be using today. Flintlock mechanism, 75 caliber bore, smooth, not rifled. And what we've been doing lately is we did buck and ball, we did in a paper cartridge, buckshot in a paper cartridge. Then we loaded this with the same buckshot, but as a shotgun. What we're going to be doing today is something similar, but a little bit bigger buckshot. And also we will be loading from the pouch again. Let me see if I can get one out. Loaded up my pouch a little bit differently this time, so hopefully it's easier than it was last video. And the shot we're going to be using today is .457 round balls. Now, some of you may recognize that right off the bat. You cap and ball shooters, just like me. That is one of the round balls that a lot of cap and ball revolver shooters use to go shoot. Now, I'm not a huge fan of the .457s. Some people are, and it depends on what gun you have. So I had a bunch of those laying around, and I thought, well, why not try that as a different form of buckshot to see what kind of spread we can get, what kind of stopping power we can get, and what kind of effectiveness you could get with that. Now, what inspired me to do this was, one, I had a guy in the comments said he wanted me to try to use 36 caliber balls for like your 1851 Navies and your 36 or the 1861 Navies, which I will probably be doing that at some point. But the reason I didn't was, well, I wanted to get rid of these, but I was like, okay, we'll do that, but a different caliber. And again, I will do those later. But the second reason that inspired me to do this is a 410 shotgun shell. Now, as you can see, this is much bigger than a 410. But what do I mean by that? Well, you can buy 410 shotgun shells that have like the 3 buckshot pellets in it. That's what inspired me to try to do this in a smoothbore musket, is to stack them similar to that and shoot it. They also did this in the old trapdoor guns back in the late 1890s and the early 20th century. With the trapdoor rifles, they would do that in the 45-70 shells. So I wanted to try that, but you know, it's not going to be where they're stacked perfectly. The balls will probably be stacked kind of, if I can see, you know, like this, kind of like zigzagged on top of each other. So the spread's probably going to be all over the place. It may be totally effective. They may stay together. I have no idea. And those that are new to the channel, what we're also, let me see if I can get some out of here again, is some other wads, because we're going to load this just like a shotgun, is this guy. We've talked about it before. That is your over the powder wad. Hopefully this wind doesn't get bad. It's just a light breeze, and it is a little cold out here. This protects your burning powder, protects your charge and everything else from the explosion of the gunpowder. And the next one, if I can get it out, and I'm probably going to have to cut to it, yep, is this guy. Now this is your shot wad, and it's been lubricated with boar butter. Now, because it is about 20 degrees out here, the boar butter has kind of hardened up, but I highly recommend you lubricate these, or you're not going to get it down that barrel with whatever gun you're using, shotgun or musket. That protects your shot from the powder to cushion it as it's going out the barrel. And last but certainly not least is this guy. Is an over the shot wad. What this does is make sure that your shot or whatever you're shooting stays in the barrel. That way it's not coming out or getting loose when you're walking around or hunting or whatever. That makes sure that it stays tight in your barrel. So that is what we're going to be testing today, is a different style of buckshot. I guess you could say this would be quad buckshot, because I think triple aught is 36 caliber, so I guess this would be quad aught. I guess I don't know how you would call that. So this is going to be 100% experimental, just to see what will happen. Now this may be a short video. I'm sorry, my hands are freezing. I forgot gloves and it's cold. this may be a short video because the spread just might be insane. It may stay all together. I don't know. We're going to be shooting at, like last video, 10, 15, 20, and 25 if we can even get to that range, because to be quite honest, I'm not having high hopes of what's going to happen, but this is strictly for educational purposes and for fun, and just to see what kind of experiments we can do with the smoothbore musket. Again, I would love to hear more comments down below what you would love to see, and we're going to return to a lot more stuff with this gun and other muskets as well. Just stay tuned. All right, guys. Well, that's pretty much what we're going to be doing today. Let's go load up the musket and see what we can do. All right, before we start this video, in the great words of the Black Powder Maniac shooter, ear protection and eye protection is strongly recommended when it comes to flintlocks, muzzle loaders, and all firearms. The flintlock we're going to be shooting today has a massive flash very close to your face. Shards of that burning powder or bits of the flint can fly back and hit you in the eye, so make sure you're wearing proper eye protection to protect your eyesight. And coming from a guy that has tinnitus from not being smart wearing earplugs in my youth, I highly recommend you do this because you can't repair your hearing either. So make sure you're taking the proper safety precautions when it comes to flintlock muskets, percussion guns, and all firearms. All right, so hopefully the audio is picking this up. Same target as always is the breast cancer awareness, Paper Pete, strictly because this is going to have spread, and this helps me see exactly what's going on and where we're hitting, if we're hitting at all. So again, we're going to do 10, 15, 20, and 25 if we can even do that. But yes, so we're using this guy just duct taped on a 55-gallon barrel just to see the results we can get. And I will try to do it like last time, where I'll shoot, take the pictures, tape them up so you can see a little bit better, and then we'll go on from there. All right, hopefully you guys can tell this is about 10 yards away. And again, hopefully the audio is picking this up. The breeze just went over the berm here, so sorry if that's going on. But we're about 10 yards away, and I think this time I'm just gonna do the loading sequence once. I did it twice in the last video, and I was having to fight against the clock on my camera, so I don't think we're gonna do that this time. So the powder charge I'm gonna do this time is we're going to do 90 grains. This is just my brass powder measure. There's lots of different ones you can have. We are using 1F GoX again, but I'm dumbing down the powder charge about 10. Why is that? Well, further inspection during video editing, I noticed a lot of the powder was just being blown out the end of the barrel, so it wasn't even igniting. There we go. For some reason it wasn't wanting to cooperate. And I thought, well, as you saw, I just wasted some, about probably 5 grains worth. But I didn't want to be wasting a lot of powder if it's not going to ignite. Also, if you've noticed, I've changed which side of my rig is on. I put the pouch on my right side because I'm right-handed. So that might be why I'm a little awkward right now. But yeah, so 90 grains of 1F GoX. Right down the barrel. Always double check, make sure your powder came out. Okay, we're good. Okay, next, see, I went for my left side. It's not on my left side. Next is going to be our over the shot wad. And this is a tight fit. If you saw last, however, I think it's been a week or so, and it just kind of pushes in just like that. Usually pretty easy. Now, as your bore fouls up, it's going to be slightly harder, and with it being cold barrel, yeah, of course, this is a clean barrel. So there we go, over the powder. Now, again, you don't have to put your ramrod back in. I am just for convenience. And again, this is not for quick reloading at all. So it's going to be slow. Next is our shot wad or cushion wad. Again, lots of bore butter, that's fine. And last video, you don't have to lubricate these, but I'm gonna tell you right now, if you do not, after about your first, maybe your second shot, you ain't reloading. It is a snug fit. Even with it lubricated, it is still snug fit. So there we go. Now, some are probably speculating, could you not just load both of those at the same time? In fact, yes, you can. I have a 12 gauge shotgun that I used to do that, but I've noticed that these are a little stiff, and I don't want to do that and then just be fighting it, trying to get it down the bore. I don't want to do that, and then possibly after a little bit, then you got a stuck, you got your wad stuck. I don't want to do that. I'm just going to have to grab them when my fingers are frozen solid. So I'm thinking 4 should be plenty. So 1, 2, 3, okay, 4. Now, if I shoot and the recoil's not bad and the spread turns out to be nuts, man, this is... I can't even feel my fingers. I'm trying to grab some of these wads and I can't. So, shame on me for not bringing gloves this time. Last time it wasn't as cold. It's a lot colder now. My hands are red. So, over the shot wad. Now, those that are first time joining us, just a little tip. If you want, because these are tight, is cut you a little slit into them, about that much, just so you can barely see it. That is to let the oxygen or the air trapped in the barrel get past it. Because if not, a lot of times it'll act as a hydraulic. And then you're kind of fighting it with your ramrod trying to get it down. You will eventually get it down, but this is just so much easier. And that's kind of the sound you want to hear. You can hear the air going past it. Okay, so you can see the gun is loaded. All right, so we got the bore all loaded. I know some of you may think this is such a pill to get it loaded, but that's the joy of it. Now the last thing is to prime the pan. So we're going to bring it to half cock, take our hammer stall off, and again, I'm priming from the pan. Priming from a pan primer. This is 4F GoX. I've used shoots in 2. Put a little more. I've noticed that this Brown Bess loves a lot of powder. Now that could be different for your gun. Okay, now I just realized I didn't put my earplugs on, so we're going to do that real quick if I even can. These are frozen. I didn't really think, did I? So, okay, there we go. All right, so now we got it all loaded up and primed and ready to go. We're going to shoot at 10 yards to see what happens. All right, here we go. First shot. All right, a little bit of a hang fire, but it still went off. Let's go see what we did. Huh. And would you look at that? I honestly was not expecting that. I was expecting the spread to be crazy, insanely wide. But at 10 yards, it seemed to stay together. Now, I did have a hang fire, and I did slightly pull, ever so slightly to the left, and that's kind of where it went, just a little bit off of the bull. But 1, 2, 3, 4, which is what we loaded. So, yeah, that's not bad. Now, granted, that's 10 yards. That's not a marksman shot. But that would do pretty good against, back in the day, an assailant, or if you were fighting in battle or self-defense on the frontier. It's got a spread, but so far it's tight enough that would be a viable option. Well, let's go back to 15 yards and see what kind of results we get there. And here's a closer look at the results at 10 yards. All right, guys, hopefully y'all can tell we backed up to 15 yards. And to be honest, that last shot, which we've already got it loaded up again, we're fixing to take next shot, that was not bad recoil at all. In fact, it was actually quite acceptable, in my opinion, not bad at all. And I was shocked how tight the spread kept together. So I'm interested to see how far we can keep going with this. So anyway, here we go. Same load, same everything. So let's try it again. Let's see, shot 2. Major hang fire on that one, but I stayed right on target on this one. But let's go check it out and see what happened. Wow. All right, a little bit more spread, but not much at 15 yards in difference. So we got 1, 2, 3, and 4 shots almost hit where the last 3 were at, but spread's a little bit wider, but not much. I am surprised at this. That's pretty acceptable. That's pretty dang good. Wow. So that's at 15 yards. Not much change other than just minor spread pattern. Just minor. But that is pretty much where it's hitting. Now, I had a major hang fire, but I kept steady and did not move. And it's hitting, for the most part, like the size of my hand, it's hitting right where I'm aiming at. So, all right. This has been a total success so far. Let's back up to 20 yards and see what happens. And here's the results at 15 yards. All right, guys, we backed up to 20 yards. So far, this range test has been a complete success. But let's see what happens at 20 yards. Shot 3. Man, I'm having real problems with hang fires today, but I think I stayed on trajectory, but let's go see what happened. Okay, so a little bit more change on that one. I had another hang fire, which I didn't go right or left. I think I pulled up just a little bit. But as you can see, I don't think it was entirely my fault. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4. And those 2 kind of stayed together, and these 2 kind of stayed together. So I think that was 25% my fault, 75%, that's just where the shot wanted to go. But all shot has hit the target. So, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I was, again, aiming here. I think I pulled up about right here. So, again, I don't think it's as much my fault, but we're still doing good. I'm still impressed. I don't know why these 2 went way off. But, again, you have to understand, the way these are stacked in the barrel, they're kind of zigzag, but they're also in different spots on that zigzag as they're loaded. So whenever they land, that's where they're probably going to go when the gun goes off. But 20 yards, still a heck of an option with this load we're doing today. I'm very impressed. Well, let's back up to 25 and see what happens. And if we can still get hits on target, I may back up to 30 just to see what will happen. But let's see what we can do. And here is the results at 20 yards. All right, guys, we backed up to 25 yards, and we got the Brown Bess all loaded up again. And we're going to take another shot here. Hopefully the audio is not screwed up. Breeze is going right over me, right into the speaker, so hopefully you can still see me. For some reason today, I've just had consistent issues with hang fires, and I don't know why. So hopefully it doesn't do that this time. So this should be shot 4. Hopefully I can keep my stance and everything works out. That's a first, and I flinched. I'm actually kind of glad that happened. That is called a flash in the pan. That doesn't happen very often. Now, I know I loaded. Yeah, I did. That doesn't happen too often, but let's try again. And if you do ever have that happen, don't panic. Now, you can see I flinched a little bit. What you want to do is you want to hold the gun down range for a couple of seconds to make sure it doesn't go off. If it doesn't go off after a little bit, you just reprime and try again. So hopefully it goes off. It's actually the first time I've had that happen with this gun. That's more like it. That one went off a lot quicker, and that one wasn't a hang fire. So let's go see what happened at 25 yards. Okay, 25 yards, now we're starting to get a little hairy. So that was kind of my prediction, was 1 or 2 of the Buckshot was going to miss. So we did have 1, 2 hit him in the gut, 3 way up here. I don't know how that happened. And I know I loaded 4 I do not see another hit. So it could have gone over him, to the side of him, I am not sure. But we had 3 hit paper, 2 hit the target, way low. I didn't drop the shot, even though we did have a flash in the pan. Felt very good about that shot. So, yeah, not kind of some crazy spread. What I'm probably going to do is I'm going to go back to 25 yards. I'm going to shoot again because I want to see if I can get maybe 3 or all 4 on target. But, 25 yards with any buckshot round is about your cap. 30 depending on the gauge, caliber, all that stuff. But I'm going to shoot again because I'm just curious to see what will happen. And here's the results at 25 yards. All right, guys, so we backed up to 25 yards again just because I want to see if I can get more hits. I think 30 yards is going to be pushing it, and I might get 1, maybe 2 hits, and there's no telling where they're going to go. So I would like to get at least 3 hits. If I got all 4, that would be great. But my prediction is I think the first 2 buckshot are usually hitting higher, and the back 2 are usually hitting lower. That's what I think's going on. I could be way off, but that's what I'm starting to pick up with this experiment. But anyway, let's try again. 25 yards, same load. Here we go. Man, slight hang fire again, but not bad. But I kept right on the bull. But let's go see what happened. Yeah, all right, guys. I think 25 yards is the cap because we had, 1 hit here, 1 hit here, and 1 way up here, just like the last shot. So I think it's safe to say my prediction is correct. The first 2 are flying more straight up, and the other 2 are flying more in a downward motion. But here's the crazy thing that I've noticed about this experiment. It never shot right to left, really. You can see they've mostly stayed in a vertical motion. They haven't gone way left or way right, you know what I'm saying? Which I found fascinating. So it seemed to stay in the direction of where it was being fired. Now, naturally, as you saw, 25 yards, that's when the spread just got crazy. But 10 yards, perfect. 15, perfect. 20 was even very good. This was the test from 20. So 20 yards did great. But I think once you get past 20 yards, that's when you can tell how just 5 yards affects the spread. So I won't be firing again because, honestly, I might get 1 or 2 hits at 30 yards. So not that you couldn't use it to defend yourself or something at 30 yards, but you're not going to have as much luck. We'll put it that way. But I call this a complete success. This is definitely something I would love to do again, which I was honestly just shocked how well this performed. But yeah, 25 yards is the cap. 25 yards is the cap, definitely. Complete success. And here's the results of the second shot at 25 yards. All right, so what are my final thoughts of using .457 round balls for cap and ball revolvers as buckshot in a musket, preferably the Brown Bess? Still call it a success. I mean, it performed way better than I thought it was going to. I thought at 10 yards I was going to get it the same amount of spread I did at 25. But at 10 yards, it pretty much stayed together. 15, about the same. 20, it spread open a little bit, but still did very well. I was amazed at just a 5-yard difference at 25, how much the spread affected it. Now, once I got there, about only 2 shots were hitting the target. But like I mentioned, I was amazed that they weren't going to the right or to the left. They were staying in the direction up and down, but they were staying in the direction that the gun was being fired. That was interesting to me. I didn't think that was going to happen. Is this a viable option? Absolutely. If this is all you got laying around and you want to go shoot, you can. It is another type of buckshot. And this is exactly what I wanted because, like I was saying earlier, it inspired me by a 410 shotgun shell, is I wanted bigger buckshot that will have more stopping power than your smaller buckshot, like your 24 caliber balls, your 31 caliber balls. And there's others, and I want to try number 4 and number 2 buckshot at some point. I just got to go buy some. So that is what I wanted for a more of like a self-defense of the era, or they're deep in the brush, but they needed a buckshot that was bigger balls and had more stopping power. And that was it right there. So that's exactly what I wanted, and I was really and am really happy that it had performed so well. Now you could do the same thing with .451s, .454s, and even like what you saw in the video today, .457s. Because you can get those almost anywhere, because lots of people shoot cap and ball revolvers. Now, I will say this. Do not get stupid with your musket. Yeah, it's a smoothbore, as you can see. And everybody has the misconception. You can put rocks and pebbles and whatever you want down in the barrel and it'll shoot it. You got to be careful. There's a reason I only did 4 buckshot. I could have probably done 6. It kicked. It wasn't horrible, but it still had a kick. 6 might be too many. 5 might be pushing it. I didn't want to overdo it in this gun. Not that I'm questioning Pedersoli's craftsmanship. I just don't want to push the gun in a negative way. And you don't want to do that with any firearm of any kind, of any era. But 4 seemed to do the job just fine. And honestly, anymore, I think I would just be wasting lead anything past 20 yards. You might increase your hit ratio, but if you're shooting at one target, are you really, or are you just wasting lead? So I'll let you be the judge on that. But complete success. Could I make this in a paper cartridge? Yes, but I can already tell you right now, those results would be disastrous. They're just not going to work. It would shoot, but it's going to be such a loose fit when you load it, it would just blow all over the place, and it would just be a waste of powder and lead. So I will not be making a paper cartridge video over this, but since I had shotgun wads, perfect. So I still recommend, if you're wanting to do experiments like this, go get yourself some muzzle-loading shotgun wads with whatever gun you're using, and you can do experiments like this. But just be smart. Do not overload your gun. I would recommend you weigh your shot and get an idea of what you can and cannot shoot. Don't be dumb and load, 3 60 caliber balls in this thing. It's probably going to blow out of your arm, or you're going to crater the barrel. So do not do stuff like that. Hopefully y'all can still hear me because of the wind. But yeah, final thoughts, complete success. Glad we got to take the Brown Bess out for another experiment. Again, there will be more experiments to come. Just stay tuned, and we will bring different guns and different muskets on the show. The Brown Bess just happens to be my favorite, and since it's the only one I have shotgun wads for at the time, and most people just love the Brown Bess. Who doesn't? I will have muzzle-loading shotguns on the channel later. Other muskets, other eras. It will happen. Just stay tuned. But yeah, complete success. Hopefully this was entertaining and answered any questions you might have. Thanks for watching, guys. All right, guys, if you're interested in recreating what you saw here in the video today, I highly recommend you check out trackofthewolf.com. This is where I got the wads and even the ammunition. So make sure to check out trackofthewolf.com for all of your black powder needs. Well, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this episode of testing .457 round balls or cap and ball revolver projectiles as buckshot in a smoothbore musket. Remember, I'm the musket man. Keep your powder dry. We will catch you guys in the next episode. Thanks for watching. See you later, guys. We'll catch you next time.